Hello YouTube family, James Green, Short Series Shenanigans. So today we're going to be doing another video in reference to grinding tool bits. Recently acquired carbide grinder here from All Industrial Tool Supply. And I've done one video showing some stuff, and I thought, you know what, I need to get a pile of items together to sharpen now. You don't have to have a carbide grinder to do a high-speed steel bit. You can use a pedal steel grinder, like you guys have seen my big pedal steel grinder, and I'm going to do a couple of videos demonstrating stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff you can actually do freehand, but when you're doing the carbide stuff, for example, I have some here that need to be reground. Depending on what type of wheel you have in your regular grinder, they can be tough, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to use this and set up, and I'm going to go through the setup on some of this stuff. So this one actually is made by OTMT, and they're common. It's an import style. What really matters is the wheels. Now when I've got this, I took the original wheels off because I know that they deteriorate really quickly, and I'm saving them for other stuff. I got some good ones. These are actually Norton wheels. This is a finer grit, and this is a coarser grit over here on the left hand side. I'm going to go through, and I've got you guys an angle where you can see. I'm going to talk you through it. Setting up a lot of this stuff, you can do a lot of things freehand, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to set this side up and this side as well, because we're going to be working on things on both sides. Some of the one basic tool you're going to need when you get this, if you order one of these, the dip cup here comes packed. These covers are already on it, but you have to install the drip trays and these, and they're separate. There are some little on the front here, and I'll let you guys down here a little bit and get you closer where you can see. Okay, and you'll be able to see a little bit, but there is a scale down here. Now these are approximate. Again, there's a lot of documentation on how to properly grind a tool bit out there. There's other videos, but I haven't done one. Everybody kind of does a little bit different. So the geometry, depending on what type of tool bit you're going to grind, and we're going to do several different ones. I'm going to do some high-speed steel ones. I'm even going to dress up some of my starting bits, the little ends on them that need to be dressed up, that I use in my lathe and mill. So we're going to go through a variety of, and we'll just start off at the beginning. This, you can actually change the direction of rotation with the switch. You can have it rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. Now typically this is mounted on a stand to where you can get on either side of it. It also comes with a little tool guide that fits in here. It slides up and down, and I don't use it a lot. I've actually got it. Where is it? I've got it sitting. It's sitting here somewhere. I don't use it a lot, but if you want something perfectly straight, you can take that and set it up. Again, I talked about that in the other video. Here it is, right here. If you want to set something up straight, and I've already set this because this isn't, you know, this is just an indicator, and I've squared this up with a Z-square. So if you wanted to come in and get a perfect whatever angle, you can set it up here, and you can even set, if you're not sure about this and what angle it is, and you can actually use a protractor and set this up to get a specific angle that you want for a tool. Let's say you're grinding 29 degree, you know, you can set up everything according to whatever, whether it's 60 degree, you know, 30 degree, whatever you need to do, you can set this accordingly, and you can get your compound angle. So you can have this, and then you can tilt the table, and we're going to go through some of that. Again, everybody has a different way of doing things. It doesn't have to be the exact angle if you're just a general purpose cutting tool, but now if you're creating a tool to create a thread, for example, like this needs to be touched up. It's a carbide, cemented carbide, and it's set up for threading. So you know, you'd want it, you not only have the angle, but you also have the relief on the side, so you actually have a compound angle there. And we'll go through and we'll just set up and we'll show it, And it's not much, but we'll go ahead and we'll set it on this side because this is the wheel we're going to use to demonstrate all that. So first off, let me go ahead and tighten up this side here. One tool you are going to need handy is I've got a 14 millimeter because that's what these tighten up. You have a little, not only do you loosen these, but you have some little locking nuts on the sides that help lock these up. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one on this side at 10 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead and lock the handles down. And that allows you to, whenever you do this, you loosen these to slide the table in and out. So if you loosen these a little bit, so as you can slide with the wear of the wheel or as it rotates. And the rule of thumb I was always taught on a grinding wheel is as close as possible, or a 1/16 of an inch is on the side. Now obviously up front here you have a lot more room, but you're going to be working on the side. So that's the rule of thumb I always follow, is a 1/16 of an inch or as close as possible. And I learned that when I was a kid years ago. And having the wrench is what adjusts how close it travels to the wheel. So you gotta keep an eye on it and rotate it around here. And there we go. Alright, so that's how close we are to the wheel. Go ahead and rotate it, make sure we're not hitting. Alright, we'll go ahead and tighten the back side up now. Alright. Make sure you don't spin backwards and loosen it. Alright, so we're set up. And this side, let's go ahead and set this up at 10 degrees as well. We'll go ahead and loosen these up. Same thing, because we're going to create a compound angle. I'll loosen this back one here as well. Alright. Getting everything to slide like it's supposed to here. Alright. And again, we're going to set this on. This doesn't have much of an angle, but it's generally a 10. We're going to go ahead and set a 10 on there. Actually, that looks like it has even less than a 10. Let's kind of see what it does have. Out of curiosity, compare both sides. And it doesn't have much. It looks like it's got about a 4 degree or 5. Let's go ahead and just go with what's there. Let's set it at 5 on this, because it'll work for what we need. Okay. Again, you can freehand this stuff on a regular grinder. And once you've done it enough, you kind of get an idea of what works. Alright, and I'm tightening this up here. Alright. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to go ahead and touch up on this threading tool and get it sharp like it needs to be. And it's an old school cemented carbide. Can't tell, but there's the old school numbers that's on it. I know the camera might be washing it out a little bit there, but so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to touch that up on both sides, and we'll get started. And we're going to go ahead and rotate counterclockwise, or if it's towards you, you just push down, it goes ahead and starts up. I'll try to get where you guys can see what's going on here. Alright, so we're just going to use, we've set the table up, we're going to come in here and right now we're just removing a lot of the stuff that's sealed that's underneath. Alright, and that's primarily what I wanted to do, is just, we've got to touch up just a little bit. So once I've removed the steel underneath, alright, we'll we've got it running here, I'm going to set up my little angle gauge to follow through. It's like, okay, well, before we go through with that, I want to go ahead and get this dressed up here. And this is just a general purpose carbide tool that I use on a lot of stuff, and we're dressing up the edge. It's been used quite a bit. There's a lot of relief. So we're just going to come in here. Keep our dip cup handy. This tool here I use as general purpose for removing weld on items or dressing up rough weld or cutting, for example, because I'm going to be doing it. Someone took and welded a shaft to a chuck, and I'm actually going to cut this, but this is where I use this general type of cutting tool. I come in here with this carbide and I cut this off. I'm going to round it just a little bit, just enough. And we've got a little bit of a relief angle there. A little bit on the tip. Rounded, so that'll work. That one's already done. Alright, I'm going to let this spin down here. While it's spinning down, I'm going to dress up this here. This is an old boring bar that's been used up. The carbide's gone, but it is still set up for, there's a little bit of carbide left, but I can get in there and use that for, and that's just where you come in here and you kind of freehand things a little bit. And just dressing it. Again, I'm going through a lot of tools that need a little tender love and care. So, we'll set this up here. I'll stop this. Alright, okay. So, let me back the camera out. So to get our angle, we've already, got our bottom angle here, and now we want to get it set. So let's say we wanted to use the gauge to hold it correctly here, so that we're holding our angle as desired. And see, it almost, you got to push it over. There we go. Okay, so we're literally at 60 degree. Again, it's not the best in the world, but we're here, we're at 60, okay, which is where it reads. You can actually, I've seen guys take and make one that'll actually go beyond 60, and what I may do, and I've thought about doing, because the numbers stop about like 45 or so, is you can actually go in there and mill some of this out, and I've seen guys actually, because they want to know exact. And that's where your fishtail comes in handy. Let me grab one as a matter of fact. So that you know your, there it is. So that you know you're cutting your item as desired, just a standard 60 degree. That's what your fishtail is for. So, you have it handy. So it's not just, well, that doesn't read 60. It does, but it doesn't. Well, actually it doesn't. But you get it set, we already know, okay, and you can, I've seen guys make these bigger to where they're actually wider. And I may do this, is add a little on here so it's fully supported further out, because that is a pretty big gap right there with a small, when you start doing with these small tools. And so that'll probably be a project, you know, where I may go ahead and make one of these a little bit better, a little bit bigger, or we might just add on to this, and that's a possibility, to where we have the fence that comes out when you have your small tooling and stuff, that you do want to make sure you get that angle correct. Let's say you're wanting to, for example, get the camera steady. For example, let's say you have a short piece of stock and you want to get a 60-degree angle on it for putting in an old school style boring bar. Okay, let's go old school. Let's play, you know, we don't have money for inserts. We want to take a piece of, you know, high-speed tool steel, and that'll be something, it's the same thing. And I've got some old toolbars down here that are buried and I've got some put up that take, and Keith Finner is always showing those on his channel, excuse me, when he does boring on things, and he uses inserts like this at times that have carbide, but they have real short ends, and you're in a tight area, so it's set up to where it'll hold the tool either at 90, or if you're in there doing a specific thread, the way you grind the tool. So to work on a short, typically what you'll do is you can find these, you'll grind it to what you need, get the right angle on it, and then you'll come in and and then you'll just cut it off. And that's the easiest way to do it, is if you find those online on eBay, there's a bunch of them. Even the Harbor Freight ones are actually good. You just have to use the type of grinding wheel, the abrasive. Remember, you always got to have a harder abrasive to cut the softer material. So I'll go ahead and get back down here, and we'll go with the flow, and we'll just go ahead and dress this up. And you can see where we're dressing a little there already, trying to get the light to show it. And this side, we're just touching the bottom. So we want 100% both sides. We're going to get this thing where it's, you know, 60 degrees. And we got our fishtail handy here. You know, make sure we've got our, we're staying in line with. And I'll get you down here. Again, I'm going to do a couple different videos, different scenarios. And you can do the same thing right here. This, a fishtail, this, and on a pedestal grinder, and I'm going to show you guys that. We're going to do that. That'll be a different video. I figured, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and show these on my channel. I haven't. I've had people ask me about it, and then we'll even slowly step into doing single point threading, how I do it on my machine, on the Grizzly G0776. I know a lot of you guys have bought them. So let's get the camera back down and get back on track here. And okay, so we've got this set up here. Let me put this in my pocket so I don't lose it. So we don't want to mess up our angle, and it really doesn't act like, when you look at it, it acts like it needs to come over even more. Okay, I can see that. If you look at it, this has to come over even more. I don't know if it's hard to see on the angle there. I'll hold the camera, so pardon the, because I don't like that. So we'll probably end up doing a little bit of a mod here, per se. Let me move the camera. Alright, you can see from the top there. Alright. And that's where you can take, and actually, because it's already 60 degrees, you can see how much it's off, and this still needs to adjust. So we're going to go ahead and freehand it. Let me put the camera back over here. This is where practice and skill come into play. There you can see a little bit of the angle, you can see the gap. Okay, the gap and how much off it is. So that doesn't go full 60 degree. I'll probably come in here with my burr and follow this around, is what I will do, and make this to where it'll actually turn 60 degrees. So if you guys get one of these, that's perhaps a mod you could do, is actually widen that out to where you can get a full 60. So we'll go ahead, we'll take this out of the way, we'll set it over here, and we're just going to use our eyes, and we got our fishtail in our pocket here, and we'll get started. Try not, sorry about bumping the camera there. Leaving a little water on top tells you how hot it's getting. And you see it steaming off. We'll just check it real quick on our fishtail here, and we're still right on 60 degrees. I'm going to do a little more on this side just because I can see where it's kind of dished out right there. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. You can see right there the dark spot. So we're going to keep going. There we go. Check it. Oh yeah. All right. So we're 60 degrees, just like we need to be. And I know the camera angle is kind of not being conducive to where, but that's what you use your fishtail for. Grinding your 60-degree tool. So, trying to get to where you guys can see. There you go. Okay, so we fit. We're good. That tool's done. Let's go ahead and start it up. We're going to keep and we're going to freehand some stuff. I've got a couple of my starter bits I need to do. And you can actually do it on this side, works a little better. That way you're not messing up your flat surface on this side. When you want to freehand stuff, you can, depending on what you need. But I'll typically try to do my freehand stuff on this end because that side, you know, it's kind of one of those things how do you make your wheels last the longest? And we're just copying the angle that's already there. Alright. It doesn't take much. What's nice about having this, you can prop on that and use that to do your freehand sharpening. Doesn't take much. Just go on through them here. You could even kind of rest it down on the bottom to get your angle and just rotate it. You do the same thing with a bench grinder. If you got a big stand on the end, it really helps. Having that light where you can see makes a difference too. You get your angle cut correctly. Some of these I've had for a long time, and just when they got dull, I just threw them in another drawer. So now it's a good chance to go through and make a video of doing some hand sharpening. And some of you even pick up some import ones, they're not cut straight. No big deal, just throw them up here on your grinder and get with it. That one on the edge there has even been abused a little bit. I've even seen guys take Dremels, and if you got a Dremel, you can dress these up with a Dremel as well too, because these are just high-speed steel. We'll just work through the rest of these on this video here. Rolling them through. Now that one's busted, and that's fine, but we're gonna go ahead and shape that. And I'll use that if I want to use it for a counterbore or countersink. Come over here to the rough side, and all I'm going to do is dress up some of the back. And this will be just a countersink on this side. Is all this is going to be for. Or if I need to use it to get in there to dig out, I broke one of these. So there we go. Stop that so you don't have to listen to it. Alright. So you guys get the general idea, and that's what was, let me get over here so you guys can see better. So the general idea of the video was to demonstrate on that grinder how to do things. Now I'm going to do another one, and we're going to show on the pedestal grinder a different way and some other things. But that was a demonstration on how to use the carbide tool grinder. Thank you for All Industrial Tool Supply. This is a great tool. It's awesome. If you guys have any questions, call them. I know they've got a website coming up. This is right around the latter part of 2016 when this video is coming out, and I know they're going to be having their new website coming up shortly. I know they're going to be having some really good sales coming on. If you guys got any questions, call them, request a master catalog. They've got this really good deal, and I know they ship worldwide, but depending on where you're at, shipping can vary. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. All my new subscribers, click the like button down at the bottom, spread the word about my channel, and like I say at the end of every video, and I truly mean it, take care of yourself and take care of your family, because remember, at the end of the day, you and your family is all you got. Until next time, get out in your garage and sharpen up some high-speed tool bits. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.